Hey y'all, I'm up here just gandering at this old sweet gum tree and big old oak. Reckon this camera doesn't do it justice. I'm up here in the cut, what I called it. You can't see it, I barely can. Really ain't even there with all the growth. There's a gap in the fence there. I don't know that it's necessarily a gap right now, but behind me in all that growth sits some of the most fertile pea growing ground, I'd argue, in East Texas. There's still some old furrows in that old pear orchard next to rotten down pear trees that I imagine would grow a few bushels of purple hulls right on, given the opportunity. If the trees and privet hedge and briars hadn't taken it over. Been talking with my cousin. He knows about this land, how to work it. He's done enough of it. That old gap up there that led to that pear orchard caused me to do something I don't normally do, but needed to be done this last week. I'll get to that in a minute. But this whole field, that's a shame, isn't it? Y'all can't tell it, but it's high as my head out there where I worked by hand, weeding to have a garden this spring, and we did all right. I'm gonna take a break for fall, kind of getting antsy with plants coming in at the store and a few little old seeds trickling in. But I have got a wedding to attend. My daughter's getting married in October up in South Carolina, and I won't be missing that. I don't want to be worried about my turnip greens. I may still put a little plot in, but they'll have to fend for themselves for a little while during that time, because we can grow vegetables anytime, and if things go right, she gets one wedding. And I'm blessed to be alive and around to go see it, so that's what we're going to do. No, looking forward to the winter. Going to be a lot of hard work going on behind us here. We've got intentions to bring some equipment in and maybe pulp out a few of those pine trees that have shot up over the last 2 decades and bring that nice piece of ground back to a big old garden again. Like I need something else to do. But we'll probably have a little different equipment to work with, I suppose, at least to hear him tell it. But I shouldn't even walk out there. That stuff's higher in my head. Y'all won't even be able to see me arm's length from the camera, I don't reckon. But I just have to almost turn my head. It makes me sick. But we'll get it. Well, I'm going to do it just so you can see. Now, this is the same spot that I was hand weeding just a couple of months ago. Boy, how things change, isn't it? But a little diesel and a good tractor will take care of that in one afternoon, won't it? And we can get it back down to where we can handle it. Well, look at these rascals. They're staying pretty close to home, and we've got enough privet hedge to feed about 2,000 goats. So this one don't know whether he wants to go to the pen or keep eating. Sissy don't bother him, but she tries to keep them in check. They play more than anything. But all is well here. Did y'all see those t-shirts? Isn't that something? I was pretty surprised at that, to be honest. I talked about doing some a couple of years ago. Just wasn't my motive. And good folks down there at Texas Size Bling here in Nacogdoches. She's got a location in Waco. Thought that was ironic, given that's where I've come from. And they do all of our Lone Star shirts, and got a nice storefront down there, all kind of goodies for the ladies and all. But those shirts are really soft and comfortable. I had a few pre-orders, I guess. Those of you who didn't see it, it's on the page, I guess, the last post. Might as well pin it to the top. But got 2 or 3 colors. But she came up with that design. I didn't really give her too many ideas. She asked me about it. And I said, well, just watch the blog, and whatever you take away from it, then go with that. So she did pretty good, I thought. She did. But I'm excited about getting the first batch in. Wish I could just give them away, but that chicken feed's awful expensive, y'all. Reminded that old song, "Oh My Soul to the Company Store." It's not quite that bad, but chickens got to eat. They're doing all right. I think the turkeys is what's putting the whoop on me. our CFO there at the store, he was asking me, "You getting how many turkeys?" And he said, "I tried that. You're gonna go broke feeding them." And now I'm seeing what he's meant. They ain't eating enough bugs out here, I guess. But maybe they'll make a little breeding stock, and we can sell off a few of them next year. But they're working. They're doing their deal. That'd be all right. We'll just keep feeding them right on. I guess I don't know what to do with no garden to pull. That corn's about falling down. And I mean, there's some big old snakes out there, ain't Pat? And I ain't going out there to find out. What about you, Sissy? No? Okay. That's fine. No, we learned a few lessons this week. Jordan's truck broke down on him today. Imagine that. Calm down. And just a little old minor thing. It's just a matter of finding out what it is. Sensor or something. That's what happens on a little older truck. But it's not dilapidated. It's still a good investment. It'll run right on and do just fine. But it's just an inconvenience today. But he had a friend. I've always been very charitable. I've displayed that to my kids almost to a fault. Sometimes we might suffer a little bit over giving too much sometimes, I guess, and that can be a fault. But had a friend that I'd seen work a little bit here on the place. 3 weeks ago it was. He had moved off to Tennessee for a week. Family had to come back to the area. And Jordan had him a job lined up, actually, with my cousin. So I said, yeah, you're welcome to stay here a few days. 3 weeks ago. Yeah, y'all know how that story ended. Problem was, the first day he went to work, he drug up about 2 hours in and said he was tired. Jordan's out there as a type 1 diabetic, just getting after it. So we don't cotton too much to laziness. But I turned my head and let Jordan learn his lesson about being charitable and letting it turn into expectation. But we rocked along about 2-3 weeks and had to talk with him about a week and a half ago. A little soft approach. They didn't know what was kind of expected out of a young man his age at 21. Not his daddy, wasn't trying to be, but hopefully it kind of light him up. Didn't. Go figure. He decided about 3 days after that he'd file for unemployment. I asked him what he was filing unemployment on. He didn't know, but he thought he'd get him a check. Of course, that wasn't coming. Thank goodness. Finally, it was it. I'd sweated enough and worked enough and watched Jordan and I walk by him as he sat on that couch and played video games. Not Jordan, but this young man, all day. Wouldn't look for a job. He had it easy, so to speak. But I told him I felt sorry for him because he didn't have a way to eat. He had to depend on someone else to feed him to make sure that he was cool at night and had the luxuries that working folks didn't get to afford. He looked me dead in the eye, and I didn't know what to expect the next day, whether I'd get pushed back or whether it'd be a long, drawn-out process for him moving on. But I told him I needed an answer by the next evening what his plan in life was, because by default, he had made me an authority figure in his life. And to my surprise and relief, I even told him that I didn't even want to grow old in a country where there was a lot of guys like him, because he'd fooled me. I thought he had a work ethic. Next evening, I come home from work and didn't know what I was going to get into with his final exit strategy. Walked in. There he stood all packed up, dressed. First thing out of his mouth is, "I'm going to move into a trailer. I got 2 job offers. Be out tomorrow." Why did I wait 3 weeks to do that, y'all? So maybe he does have a little bit of oomph in him after all. Time will tell. Thought about that, and sometimes you hate to kick a man when he's down, and he'd put himself in that position, and I think he's probably depressed like so many of the youngins are these days because they don't have anything they think to be hopeful for, so they just sit there and they mope and they wait for that assistance. Slaves they are to their own demise. But if you'll take a man and encourage him and tell him he can do better, but he's got to try, he'll do it most times. And if you don't, the luxury ends. Felt like I was disrespecting everybody on this place that had been raised here. This place knew work and faith and family, and we laughed and played hard. But man, I thought many times what would happen if Mim-Mom strolled in there and seen somebody sitting on the couch all day under the AC with work to be done. Wouldn't have lasted 3 weeks, I promise you. Anyway, that was free. But Jordan learned a big lesson, and I learned a little lesson about being too soft too long. But he saw that there are limits to charity, and it needs to end when it becomes expected. Have yet to get a thank you from that young man, but I'll be satisfied to be thanked with hearing he's doing well and on his own 2 feet, with a good job and a family in his own place. Reckon that's thanks enough. Right, Sissy? Thought maybe one of them turkeys would rattle off with a gobble, but probably take Jordan's air horn to do it. That's the funniest thing. You have to scare them right now to gobble them. That's just their response. Jordan was out here helping me unload feed the other evening. I said, hey, hit that horn. And he hit about 2 bars of that little old goofy horn on his truck that he loved so much. And Sissy stared, and turkeys went to gobbling. I said, do it again. So here we are playing the Dukes of Hazzard horn, and turkeys gobbling. If that ain't country, I don't know what is, y'all. Ain't that something? But all is well. We're hatching another batch of chickens in there. Pretty good hatch rate, so we'll be putting some more out there in the big girl coop here in the next few weeks. Just getting ready for a little storm to hit. 2 of them, they say. I think the first one coming in tomorrow. They're calling it Marco. Can't help but think about that little old swimming pool game we used to play as kids. Don't say it. He'll come this way. He'll find you. Remember the game? Somebody'd holler Marco and somebody else will holler, don't say it. So I've outlawed that word on the place for the week, just in case that game's applying and he's trying to come this way to find that person hollering that other word. Those of a certain age will know what that was. But do pray for all that's in the path. Those things are always destructive, no matter how big or great, small they are. There's going to be rain and death and destruction. So that's what happens when nature moves on its own course. But we'll batten down the hatches up here in East Texas and take the hit as it comes, and life will go on one way or the other. Unfortunately, with or without us, won't it? So let's live in today and make a difference where we can. It's been about 10 days since we chatted. I'll do a little quick roll call here, and we'll call it an evening. And hope y'all have a good, safe week. All of us Texans and East or West Louisianians are going to be watching the weather a lot this week. So I imagine we'll see lots of ads for beef and crawfish and all that good stuff in our news feeds, since they know we're on. That'd be all right too. Are you eating that bag? All that grass, and you want to eat an old feed bag? Y'all want goats? That's what you get right there. There you go. All that pasture, free range. Nope. Want the feed bag. Go figure. Ain't that something? All right, let's see who all's on. We're going to call it an evening. There's Mr. Ray. How are you, buddy? And there's Miss Chris. Coco. She's out in Louisiana watching the weather. I guarantee you, but this ain't the first rodeo we've been through. I saw somebody share something about that old Popeye's Louisiana chicken. Man, I love me some Popeye's spicy thighs, y'all. That's my go-to. Still have yet to eat one of them goofy sandwiches. I just ain't gonna get caught up in it. But y'all got 2 of them coming that way. Y'all can blame Popeyes for that, messing with God's chicken sandwich. At least that's what I saw. There's Mr. Randy Bass, good friend down in Huntsville, Texas. Try to head your way soon for. Hey man, that'd be good stuff. They gonna have football this year? Huh? I thought the Wuhan flu had that. No. I don't know if you're gonna stop football completely in Texas. how's that 6-foot thing gonna work on the field? Maybe the Cleveland Browns might have a chance at winning the Super Bowl this year. I don't know, just saying, sorry, Cleveland Browns fans. They got a shot, right? Yeah, come see me, Randy. It'll be good to visit. There's Miss Charlotte from Trinity, Texas. Joyce is saying howdy. Florian, Louisiana. Oh, goodness. Yeah, y'all going to be in the wake of that business. Plano, Texas in the house with Diana. How are you, man? There's Kimberly Hill Geyser. Hey there, Miss. Thank you for reaching out. There's Miss Veronica Watts, Purple Pony Farms. Good friend. Got more goats to help munch that down. I don't think. Bring them on. These two does, old Reese and JoJo, probably be giving us a few kids this fall and winter. So we're going to go from 2 to 5, or 3 to 5. But Jordan and I had them out kind of free roaming today, and they followed me up to the front of the house. And they're usually pretty scary, and they'll run on back here. Well, they was deciding that across the road was where they wanted to go. You ever tried to herd goats without feed? It's not good. So me and George was trying to take the widest path possible. Thank goodness for Sissy. As soon as she got involved, it was done. They were back in the pen. I could just see goats all over Nacogdoches. Anyway, it didn't happen. Kimberly's in Ohio, she said. Turkeys fly too, if you didn't know. You betcha they do. I've had to trim their wings about twice now. They're roosting on the trees and up top. Yeah, I've had these long enough to know that. They will fly a lot higher and stronger than a chicken. Sure will, Rhonda. Thanks for that, though. There's Jane. Good to see you. Mr. Andrew out in Interlochen, Florida. Mike's in Cottonwood, California. Hope y'all's fires are not threatening you. That's a bad deal every year. Hate y'all having to deal with that yet again. Y'all have hurricanes. We have hurricanes. Y'all have fires. So happens about the same time. We'll make it through it, though, one way or the other, won't we? There's Ann Gammon. Thank you, ma'am. Linda, have a good week to you. Hope you can avoid any storm damage from the storms in the Gulf, right? Well, it's been here 100 years, and if it's meant to be another, it'll be here right on, won't it? Melinda's up in Oregon. Got to get you a T-shirt, man. Sure do. You're going to have to text me your size and color. But those are some kind of comfortable. Turkey singing Dixie. That was what was happening. You betcha. Don't say it, Chris. She said it. Nope, I ain't saying it. Ray, no, I ain't saying it. All I'm gonna say is Marco. I'm not saying the second word. Kelly, too long. Last year we chatted. Yes, ma'am. Good to see you checking in. All right. Let's see who else is on here real quick. Connie's in Whitesboro, Texas. Ohio. That's taters up that way. Ohio, Miss Nancy, they're Buckeyes in Ohio, I believe. Gina, love goats, miss our herd. Well, this one keeps acting up. I may have one for you. No, they're at home. Hey, Roy, how are you? Miles Leverage, tuned in, watching from Arlington, Texas. Be the light. Yes, sir. Got to do that. Nancy's saying howdy. We know how much money we have, but we don't know how much time we have. Boy, ain't that the truth. That is the truth. Doris is saying, sounds like my grandson, A&M engineer, went tough and kid touched the top of that bar we put up. That's awesome. Good stuff. Jesus is chosen chicken. Oh, Chris, you got to stop. I'm trying to keep a straight face here. There's Kelly again. Hey, Connie. Well, thank you for the compliment on those shirts. All I did, well, to be honest, I went with blue and gray. That was my choice. And Miss Sylvia at work said, you better do raspberry. I'm like, raspberry? She said, not everybody wants blue and gray, Joel. I'm like, yes, ma'am. And sure enough, the raspberry is the best seller. So I guess I got to give her a commission on that, don't I? Oh, well. So that was good stuff. There's Miss Mandy. How are you? Yeah, you had a good suggestion. I wish we could have already got a little busy with that hey y'all on it. Maybe we'll have to make another one with hey y'all on it. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Anyway, y'all, those that are curious, we're doing a pre-order because she's having to do a limited pressing of them. I'm not going to buy 300 of them. So whatever pre-orders we have, we'll purchase those and send them on out. I'll finish those orders on August 31st, and then she'll press them that next week, and we'll get them out in the mail, and hopefully they'll be there by the first Monday or second Monday in September, how that is. Anyway, there's Say Grove. Good to see you and hear you again. Smoking hot in California. 570 fires. That is unbelievable. Praying for y'all for sure. There's Joanne Smith. Y'all got jokes tonight on that Marco thing, don't you? There's Miss Margie. Well, I ain't gonna say it, just in case. So, if it hits here, that's all on y'all. And I'm glad there's no audio from y'all, because anyway, who knows? But prayers for everybody to stay safe through that mess. Have to take the good with the bad, and there's a reason for everything. It's cleaning up that old Gulf of Mexico. Good Lord, sometimes it needs it, doesn't it? But 2 back-to-back in the same spot, that's something else. What should we expect, 2020? Who knew this year was going to be this crazy, right? We'll keep moving. All right, I got to get these chickens and turkeys put to bed and these crazy goats up. They're over there butting heads again, like goats do. But it's fun to watch. Y'all have a good evening. Be the light. We'll talk to you later. Hey, appreciate all the t-shirt orders. That's really cool. I'm ready to get my first one, too. Yeah, it's not going to be a raspberry. It's going to be blue. Or gray. Maybe blue. Gray. I don't know. Guess we'll find out, won't we? Good night. Be the light, y'all.